So, hi, I am Sarah Carvalho, CEO of the It's a Penalty campaign, and welcome to my Instagram lives. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be chatting to some of our partners of the It's a Penalty campaign, and this evening I'm going to be chatting to Dr. Debbie Lassiter, and she's CEO and founder of the Convergence Resource Center. So let's just bring her in to my chat.
Over 40 years ago, we were working with women that were incarcerated, and many of them described what they had to go back to, and it was often what we now call human trafficking. And so what we realized at that time is that there were not a lot of people providing services to that target population. So we started a number of trademark services. We listened to the survivors, and one of my mottos is human trafficking survivors don't need excuses, they need help. And so we talked to them and determined what help do you need, and we developed programs around that to be able to make sure that we were able to help them.
And so you've actually got programs that also specifically address the demand as well, don't you?
Yes, we do. Our HEMAD project, which is Human Trafficking Educators with Men and Boys Against the Demand, has reached over 45,000 men in 1 year that will read the pledge, watch a video, and take a stand against human trafficking. And they take it a step further by wearing a wristband that says, "I'm mad and I stand against human trafficking." And so that video is up on our website at .org, where men could go, watch the 5-minute video, take the pledge, and then if they need us to send them a box of wristbands so they can deal with other men, we would happily do that. Because as you know, we must hit that demand side as well as the supply side. And so that is why we do that HEMAD piece along with some of the other services that we've developed.
And for men that want to be part of that, can you just say what your website is again, please?
Sure, it's convergenceresource.org. So it's C as in cat, O, N as in Nancy, V as in Victor, E-R, G-E, N as in Nancy, C-E, and then the word resource.org.
Brilliant. That's such a great program to run because, like you said, you know, without addressing the demand, you know, we're not going to make a difference. For the victims. So do tell us about the work that you do with the survivors.
We provide on-site psychotherapy for people that have been trafficked, and we also meet some of their physical and immediate needs, like helping them get set up in an apartment, providing rent for them, providing toiletries. And we don't, some people do, but we don't accept the trial sizes because that's what's in the hotels. And many times those are things that kind of trigger them. And so we use the larger, and then we also do psychologically walking them out of the commercial sex trade with Ending the Game as a 10-week. We help them understand what they're saying when they talk to themselves. We work with HeartMath. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but we were the first ones in the States to help human trafficking survivors recover from trauma using their own bodies.
Wow, 7 times.
We even had, if you can believe this, we had one woman who was texting me on the call center in between dates, and she was saying, well, somebody's coming now, I just want to make sure that you're telling the truth, that you're still there. And I text back, I'm still here. And she said, this is my last one, I'm going home now. And I was like, okay, I know that you're going home, let me know when you get home. She actually ended up coming into the center after doing that about 2 or 3 times to me. She came into the center. She is now married, living in another state with a little boy. And she actually is a person who had dissociative identity disorder, which we don't talk about a lot in relation to survivors, but many of them suffer from it, which makes it difficult for law enforcement. We've done training for law enforcement because if a person has dissociative identity disorder, if a different memory or part of their system remembers it differently, you think they're lying. They're not lying. You're talking to an alter or a different part of their system. So we had to do some training with the Department of Justice and with the police to help them understand that, because on the stand, that could be a nightmare.
Well, just to explain to people that are listening that might not know what dissociative identity disorder is, I mean, that is as a result of trauma. And when somebody suffers trauma after trauma after trauma, and a lot of these victims have been abused, you know, at home, in their childhood,
Yes.
you know, people split off. They can split off, and in order to protect themselves, so they genuinely believe what they're saying, in order to forget the trauma they've been through.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's great. It's great work that you're doing with them.
And so in that instance, you know, the way the psychiatrists explain it is that when a child is violated in certain ways, they can't protect themselves. So they create another personality to take the pain. And they need help, lots of help. Many times they can't work a regular job, so we employ them here. We employ them at Convergence through one of our programs and let them become acclimated to a work environment so that they can go out and work. So we do a lot to try to help them reintegrate, or sometimes integrate for the first time, into what we want to call our healthy society.
And so how many survivors have you helped?
We've helped almost 1,000 women out of this center. Some of the women are victims of violence versus being survivors. I'll say about 95% of our clientele are human trafficking survivors, though. Many of them didn't disclose originally because they didn't understand what had happened to them. And then over time, as they understood what had happened, then they began to disclose.
Because one of the things that we've been trying to educate through the video we've made with the actor Liam Neeson is that a vast majority of people that are trafficked by people they know, often by people they know in their own communities. And I just want to say, for people that haven't seen it, do go to knowthesignsnow.org, and you can watch the film, the 2-minute film with Liam Neeson. You can share it, but also you can familiarize yourself with the signs to look out for. And It's a Penalty is actually produced. You can click on where it says report, and the map of the world will appear with all different sort of ways that people can report whether you're a victim or whether you think you've suspected you've seen abuse, exploitation, or trafficking. You just click on wherever you are in the world, and it will come up with the different mechanisms by which you can report. So I really encourage you to go to knowthesignsnow.org. So just to finish, Debbie, have you actually seen an increase in victims during COVID?
Unfortunately, we have. COVID provided the atmosphere for human trafficking to grow and to be much more cruel than it was. People are locked up. People who feel like they don't have to be at work are able to go out and do things that they wouldn't do. One of the things that I really appreciate about the video is that he says, if you need help. And you don't see that a lot on these kinds of videos. So it was great to hear him say that as well. So, yeah, but unfortunately it is on the rise.
It is on the rise. Well, listen, thank you so much for partnering with It's a Penalty. Thank you so much for the incredible work that you do with the victims, and how you've turned 1,000 victims' lives around. That's incredible. So congratulations to you and your team, and God bless you.
Yeah. God bless you too, and thank you so much for the work that you do, because often, you know, when you're the person leading something, folks forget that it's a lot of hard work for you too. So thank you so much, and anything Convergence can do to continue partnering, we are willing to do. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Debbie. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.